What?
Yeah.
No.
El Milagro del Recuerdo.
That's what I said.
The Miracle of Remembrance. It was really, really. It takes place at Christmas time in Mexico in 1962, and
It was gorgeous.
It was just
gorgeous.
unbelievable.
Beautiful music.
Was that you?
Yes, that was the
Okay.
Babylon 5 ringtone, so that would be
Yeah.
mine. Unless you stole my Babylon 5 ringtone.
I have
It says,
I have
Technorama podcast is now live.
I have a text tone for that. It's his text tone. That's why
I knew
said,
I gave
"Is
it to
you?"
somebody. I knew I gave that to somebody. You're like one of the only people that's ever recognized that in the 3 years I've been using it.
I have the regular Star Trek communicator and
Mhm.
Babylon
Yeah.
5 and the
It's
And
one of the
several
few
others.
tones that I have not gotten sick of.
Yeah.
Usually, no matter, you can put the nicest tone on your phone and eventually it will drive you crazy. It's like, I hate that sound. I just hate
Tell
that
me
sound.
about it.
well, somewhere I got the Star Trek main screen
Yeah, from the original series. Yeah, that.
and it's like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus. If I have to hear that one more time.
Well, there was a time where and it's
Switch
right,
that out for the klaxon.
right after we got our iPhones, I had assigned a text tone to my friend Eugene, and it was the sound of an arrow. Thunk. Message for you, sir.
Yeah.
And, and then he started like texting me a lot, and it's like, okay, I need to turn this off now because I'm already tired of it.
They're funny at first.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
seemed
was
like a good
funny
idea
the first
until
13 times.
right.
Where was that?
Actually, early on my Android phone, a long time ago, I downloaded all the Star Trek sounds, just like Keith was talking about. I had
Mhm.
almost every action would make a sound,
Yep.
and I was like, okay, in theory, it was a good idea, but
Yeah, but after a while, it gets very old.
right,
That's a hard no. Unless you're being called by a woolly mammoth.
I thought it was
Awooga,
a Death Star
awooga.
klaxon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the
The klaxon from what?
it's
Death
the-
Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We have an article tonight about sound effects in Star Wars.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
And I watched that whole video, Craig. That was awesome.
It was pretty awesome, wasn't it?
They can go about their business. Move along.
Move along.
Was that feedback in there intentionally?
No.
Oh.
Keith accidentally tapped the microphone.
Come on. Where am I? Jesus Christ. Make it stop.
We
Make it
are
stop.
live, by the way.
Yes, we are. Could you share, please? I don't have my other keyboard nearby to do the share.
Stop.
Put it away. Put it away.
Ben, is he like this at home all the time?
Yes. Especially when we have company.
You should know the answer to that, Craig. You-
Did I play
I
you
just
the
wanted to hear
new?
it.
how many
Yeah.
times have people asked you, is Chuck always like this?
Did I play you the new birthday
Often.
music?
Oh, God. No.
It's a funky birthday music. It's the funky birthday music. You're another year older.
I think
And
you should
you
do this on
don't need-
karaoke next week.
Yeah. I don't know if you if Arco listens to your show, but he commented and he says it sounds like
Weird science.
Weird science at the
Oh,
very
yeah.
It kind of
beginning.
does.
Yeah, it does have the Weird Science vibe,
Yeah.
although not as good.
Oh, come on now.
No, Weird Science is much better.
Weird science.
Weird birthdays.
Okay.
All right. We are live. So
Ah.
hopefully we don't have any viewers though. See the zero
No
up there?
viewers?
Because we're early.
One
Oh, there's one.
Uh-oh.
Maybe if we say it again, we'll get another one.
on YouTube.
No
as a matter of
viewers.
fact.
No viewers.
Hey, it's one
No,
on
good
YouTube.
mark.
On YouTube.
Is it a YouTuber?
Is it you?
Yeah, it's a YouTuber.
Okay, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
a
it's not
share
me.
then.
Yeah, it's probably
Facebook.
Chuck.
No, it's not me. I wouldn't watch this stuff.
It must have been an accidental click. Now we're back to zero.
Oh, oops. We offended them
we
somehow.
are now officially clickbait. What do you say?
I mean, I didn't mean to click on that one.
Um,
the hell are they?
Right.
Okay.
That was disturbing.
Mute that. It's going to have to do it again because I need to share, and I can't share as someone else from this screen. Hold your ears. Yeah. Okay. Now, where's there? Share as me. I have multiple Facebook personality disorder.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
You got
I made
multiple
myself
Twitter
a new Twitter
personality.
account. Yeah, I now have multiple Twitter personality.
We have like 6.
One is not many people even know it's associated to me or anything I do. It's like the number one used demo account in ServiceNow.
Oh,
Everybody always picks. There's 650 people in the demo data, and they always pick the same one. Able Tutor.
Because he's on the top of the list.
It's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Nobody, and developers are lazy, so they always pick what's easiest.
Yeah, he's
So
got like
I created
a thousand incidents or whatever,
and they're all
associated to
overdue.
it. Yeah, they're all
So
overdue.
on Friday we were doing live coding happy hour, and I suggested somewhere. I said, "Oh, you know what would be funny?" And while they were still doing the show, somebody else is doing the presentation. I'm creating a Twitter account for that. And as of today, it's got about 150 followers.
oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Are you serious? I didn't
yes.
look.
I kid you not. And I've been putting up like just one tweet a day. Like, could you stop? I said, be creative today. Pick a different account for once. This drinking game is taking its toll. and I got an animated GIF of some guy like hauling 12 beers.
Yeah, Here,
Actually,
hold
you've
my
got
beer.
He's got
So-
180 followers now.
Wow.
Now, I did have a couple of people in Japanese tweet in Japanese, and I had to translate it. It said, what's this account all about? And somebody said in Japanese, they said, oh, it looks like mostly lighthearted stuff at this point. So I thought, well,
At this point,
maybe I can put in something useful like, hey, I just returned to work and use ServiceNow to check in and do contact tracing and whatnot. So I might put something of
Right.
nominal value in there, but no, it was meant for me to have a creative outlet. That's all. That's all.
Did you have to create a new email account at the same time?
No.
Really?
No,
Oh,
all I
no, we
wanted is a login and a password.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Because you have to have a backup account. You have to have an email account to. Really?
didn't ask me.
Oh my God. I've had the only reason we only have 6 is because
You ran out of emails.
I ran out of email addresses.
It's like I
Hey,
got the
I can
Gmail
fix
and
that.
2 Gmails.
Hey,
and I
you
got
can
this.
fix that though.
Two viewers.
If you have a Gmail account, you can fix that. You can add a plus and something else after your
Right.
initial name, and it acts as a different.
Yeah, but
email
not
address.
all systems will take the plus. They'll say, that's an invalid character in an
Twitter
email address.
does because I did it.
You don't have to shout at me.
Hey,
Wow.
no,
Dang.
well, I'm just saying that's how I got the holy carp on there. You ever seen the holy
Ah.
carp?
The
Yeah.
holy carp.
It's his
Yeah.
nom de plume.
One day I was trying to do. I replied to my boss or something. I meant to say holy crap, and I said holy carp, and I thought that was funny. Then I got the idea of this fish coming up with philosophical things about fish.
Are you
I
still
see.
posting to that account, Craig?
Sometimes I get a wild hair. I'll do, but that's been a little while.
My famous typo is Thanax.
Thanax
Thanax?
instead of thanks.
And I got that stuck in my thesaurus
I've
once.
done that.
It was like, then when I would type it, it wouldn't catch it. It's like,
Darn it! Who said? Who said this is fine?
No, mine is because I have to write the word claim a lot with my job, and clammy.
Clammy.
Yep.
I
I invert the A and the I and the M.
I've been notorious for transposing the I and the O on like notion, motion, things of that, and it always comes out like
Nishan.
motion, motoin. What?
What the hell is he saying
Yeah.
here?
Is that a new record label?
Yeah. And
Hey,
it
by the
still
way,
creeps.
the holy carp's been around for 13 years now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize it was
You
that
could
long
probably
ago.
create a church out of that. You know, the Holy Carp religion.
You should go see
Church
him.
of the Holy Carp.
I got a picture of a carp, and he's got like a glow behind him, like a halo, like one of those old.
Well,
know.
but seriously, I mean, if you could kind of like I hate to say it, sort of take a rip on the Christian fish
Ah,
and come up with your Holy
yeah.
Carp.
Yeah.
That should be
Okay.
your icon. Is just that generic
Yeah.
fish outline.
Yeah.
Call the holy carp, and boy, really piss a lot of people off.
We were talking about derailed
Oh God.
things yesterday. We were interviewing a filmmaker. He's done this short film that we saw at a film festival, and it's about this kid whose parents were killed, and then he was adopted, and then his parents got killed again
By a demon.
by a demon.
Oh,
And so it was great, a great short film. And it turns out in the process of talking to him, it's really a proof of concept for a feature film
Mhm.
where the kid is technically adopted by the church to be a demon hunter. And so we were talking through that, and he came up with,
Ninja stars that are shaped like little mini crucifixes.
and I said, oh, then you could have nunchucks that dispense holy water.
We completely ruined the guy's movie. He loved it.
Oh, so he was there, and you're feeding him the
Well, yeah,
BS
exactly.
idea.
Oh, he was a really good sport and
Oh, yeah.
about it. And he says, "Yeah, I
He
think
said, now I'm going to have to make two
I gotta
movies.
make two movies now,
I'm going
yeah.
to have to make the real one and then a parody.
That's not a bad idea. Have outtake reels.
yeah."
That's
He loved the idea of the
beautiful.
ninja stars, and I say, "Hey, you can have it as long as you give me some kind of credit in the in the credits. Ninja Stars by Ben Raggington. I'm good."
Hey Chuck, I sent you a text though. I like the setup, except there's one slight problem with it.
What's that?
Look at the picture. I just texted you.
Which picture?
Look at the picture I texted you.
Let me unlock my phone. Yeah, I know. So the cam 1, the microphones are kind of in your face. So we
Yeah.
could
Maybe
Like
flip.
that.
would work
That's better.
as long as I
much
stay
better.
there.
That's better. It's
Yeah.
just
That's part of
But
the
then
reason why I
maybe,
had this camera angle
you know,
too, was to sort of
I have a face for radio, so I'm
Yeah.
actually okay with this.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, sure.
Okay, thank you. Or as my mother would say, "Fuck you very much." I'm sorry, did I just say that?
you said that with your
Not-
outside voice.
that's not going into the audio podcast, so we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin our recording session. Speaking of which, Craig, I'm going to rely on you to pay attention to the banners since we're no longer
try
on
my
the
best.
pre-show.
I'll try my best.
Gary.
Gary says, hello. Hi, guys. Hope
Hello.
you keep that-
Hi.
John Miller Jr. shows up as usual with the sup.
Ugh.
So he says, full house tonight. I don't remember seeing the Olsen twins. Do you?
No.
And we don't look anything like them.
yeah. I'm,
No, we're the illegitimate Olsen twins. Yeah.
I've been a little round in the middle here.
You're like the Olsen twins if Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger were playing them, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, we're the forgotten children of the Olsen quartet.
Quartet.
All right.
All right.
Then let us begin in deep cleansing breath. I don't have anything to drink, but I'll get by. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 658, Sprinkles on a Christmas Cookie. Hey, welcome to Technorama, the show that gives a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things tech. If this is your first time joining, well, our video's on the wrong camera, so we'll just
I
switch
wasn't
to
gonna
that
say
one.
There we go.
Who's that? That non-voice talking. Trying something new because we have some favorite faces back in the studio with the new setup, and
Some
we're working out some of
guesses.
the logistical details on this. So my name is Chuck Tomasi from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and joining me as always, right across the screen, is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing well. I'm holding down the chat room. I see we got some people in there already, but
Excellent, excellent.
I'm doing
take
good.
down the banner, take down the banner that says pre-show. We're done with that banter.
We're done with the pre-show. We're the real
right.
thing now.
It's the real show. Two
you
camera
trying-
angles. Oh, Gary, we got 3. We got the Ben and Keith cam. We've got the Chuck cam. That's what I was supposed to be doing at the intro.
Oops.
But it went much like my church broadcast this morning where I forgot to put the title screen at the beginning and it came in about 30 seconds late. And then we've got the room,
room
cam.
shot.
The
Yep.
room cam.
Trust me, if I can get more, I will make more. This is easy.
More cameras. And
Where are we going next?
I don't know.
I haven't had multiple people in the office. We haven't had to talk about camera angles in a
If
long
you're
time.
a returning listener,
Again.
welcome back.
Gary verifies a well-oiled machine, as always. I think we'll just kind of leave it there for now. We are doing some listener feedback, so let's play that feedback music.
Letters. We get letters.
Loiter.
We get letters.
Oh, we like to loiter.
Yeah.
Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right
Reach
in
right
and
in
pull
and
one
pull
out.
it out.
Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got.
All together now.
Oh boy.
Mailman, mail today.
Oh boy! Oh wait, that's lag. I guess was
I
kicking.
hate that latency.
Yeah.
I got to check and see, did I get any responses on mine? Because it went out a little late today.
Oh, I see one.
Oh, yes, I got one. Okay, cool,
Who's
cool.
got the favorite word?
I got a rock.
And well deserved. Our question of the week last time around was, what movie do you think has the best music? Oh, this ought to be good with
This
Ben
is a
and
good
Keith
one.
in the studio. So why don't we
my.
start with you
Hey,
two?
wait a minute. And wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Bonus points if you do not use John Williams.
There you go.
Oh,
You
easy.
don't use
That's
John
low hanging fruit.
Easy.
All
Yes,
right.
John Williams is low hanging fruit. So Keith,
Anything that Michael
Michael Giacchino.
Giacchino did. He's done a lot of the Pixar movies. He is a
ha
chameleon.
ha ha.
He is the John Williams heir apparent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Truly.
I'm
Wow.
I'm glad you picked that one. Mine, Jerry Goldsmith. The movie is Star Trek: First Contact. The best Star Trek score
Oh,
ever
my
written,
God.
I
and
agree.
it
I enjoy
deserves an
that one.
Academy Award. It really did because it was
I
absolutely
agree.
glorious.
Oh, the beginning of that film.
The opening
it
credits
just-
in that movie are tear jerking. They're so
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Is it my imagination or is that very reminiscent of darn it, the composer just ran out of the room and my head. The Planets, Gustav Holst. Does a lot of the
Not so much. I know. No.
I hear some Saturn, some Jupiter. I hear some of the
possibly.
planets. It feels like Star
Yeah.
Trek
But the
music
one
is
that's
inspired
the
by
one that's mostly inspired, or the piece of music in modern movie music that was mostly inspired by Gustav Holst's Planets was for Mars, and that's the sequence that John Williams used in Episode 4 when the Imperial cruiser comes flying over. Bum ba-da-da-dum, bum bum
Mhm.
ba-da-dum. That's right out of Mars.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So that's the one that's mostly influenced by Holst. I never really noticed that with Jerry Goldsmith's music, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe
Well, I can-
now you will.
Well, speaking of Star Trek, one of my favorite soundtracks is Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country. I think that's a good
Jerry
one.
Goldsmith again.
Yep.
No, that's Cliff Heidelman, isn't it?
No. Oh, you're right. You're right. I take it back. You're
One
right.
for Craig.
No, you're right. I was thinking of Insurrection.
You stumped the
Oh, yeah.
masters.
You're right. I was thinking of Insurrection. You're right. Yeah, Cliff Heidelman did Star Trek 6. It's okay for me.
Well, I like that the build up when the beginning when you see the Praxis explode. You know, they're building up and you see titles and they get to it and it blows up. I don't know that and I kind of like it.
Well, my favorite part of his score though is the very ending when you're hearing the dun da da dun and they're doing the signatures
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
of the cat. That sends chills. That's a glorious moment.
Yeah. This plant is molesting me.
It's a fake plant.
all HR. Actually, I really liked all the Star Trek films when they changed from the regular Star Trek theme as you know it, and had different scores for each ones. I thought that was interesting to begin with. But
Right.
anyway, so let's see what
Should we
everybody
go
else
to
said.
the feedback?
The
Yeah.
feedback.
So John Miller Jr. says Superman the movie.
I would
Anybody?
agree. That's a
Yes.
great
Yeah.
score.
I don't know. It's a good hook to it. I love it.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that score.
And he also goes on to say the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, The Avengers theme. Which,
Yes.
that's a good.
I can't.
One.
Who
That
wrote
is
that?
Great.
Crud. I can't remember the composer.
Avengers?
Yeah. Shoot, I can't remember who wrote that, but it's a great score.
Yeah, let's see what I've got
I'll tell you real
on.
quick. Oh, it doesn't say. It doesn't give his name.
Gary Lindros says Flash Gordon.
Oh, by Queen.
Alan, yeah.
Hey,
Alan Silvestri.
Alan Silvestri. That's right. Yeah, he writes a
yeah.
great score.
He writes a great score.
Ooh, Brian Parker.
Flash Gordon is fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I see Hans Zimmer down there.
Yeah, Sweet Steve from Sweden says anything by Hans Zimmer. Or why not Vangelis? One of my absolute favorite songs is the love theme from Blade Runner. I just watched that recently.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But
And I like Hans Zimmer's score for the Da Vinci Code.
Oh yeah.
That
oh
is
my God.
very good.
Yes.
Our buddy Brian Parker said heavy metal.
I
I
like Hagar's tune. I like Hagar's tune in that.
there's a lot of variety on that
Yeah.
album, to be certain.
Yeah.
He also says but as an album, I would say that The Last of the Mohicans, that album often plays on my Spotify account.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I've heard Master and Commander was another one of those that
Yeah.
people like to play over and over.
Well, somebody said Weber Baker said Patton. That's a Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is. It's an excellent
It's
score.
fabulous.
I didn't know that one.
Mhm.
Highlander, Princess Bride, Godzilla versus Bambi.
Hey,
Is
so
that
we got
or is he yanking our chain now?
Actually,
Godzilla versus Bambi.
It's a short film.
Actually, it's Bambi meets Godzilla,
yeah.
and it actually opens up with da 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 by Rossini's.
Yeah.
It's the William Tell Overture.
And
The
then the Godzilla went bump.
It's it's just a pencil sketch.
It's like 15 seconds.
You have not seen Bambi
I have
meets
not
Godzilla?
seen Bambi meets Godzilla.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Wow.
What is it?
It's
you
a
say?
little and it's just like a pencil sketch animation, and you hear the opening music to William Tell Overture by Rossini. And it's just Bambi's just grazing and grazing, and all of a sudden Godzilla's foot just comes down and smashes him flat. And that's it. It ends.
The credits roll.
And the interesting thing is, the guy created that film while he was living with somebody. Who was it? Meets Bambi.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting that we had 2 soundtracks with Queen in it.
Yeah, Highlander. I actually think Queen's music for Highlander is better than it is for Flash Gordon. I think the songs they wrote for Highlander are amazing. But I'm a huge Queen fan.
Oh,
Well,
heck
I think-
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that the scene in Flash Gordon sets the tone with the music starts kicking in and the whole battle. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
The guy that created Bambi meets Godzilla was living in an apartment that was owned by Adriana Caselotti, who was the voice of Snow White.
Oh, wow.
Now there's some useless trivia that
Now we'll have Snow White versus Predator.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just useless trivia, you know.
I can just
the birthday
love it.
segments.
I can just see Snow White singing over the well and all, over the well, I'm wishing. All of a sudden Predator comes and chops her head off.
There you go. John Miller Jr. says the Love Boat theme. It's so underrated.
Oh, gag.
The Love Boat.
Love, exciting and new.
There's a piece in Traviata, La Traviata by Verdi that sounds
It's like the
Love
Love
Boat
Unlimited
theme.
Actually, I thought it was the Love Unlimited. Love
yes.
Unlimited theme.
Yeah, it winds up to that.
And I'm like, oh, I expect to hear a 70s disco song now.
Stop.
Anyway,
All right, we
have
have.
we wasted enough time?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're ready to move on. Craig, is this Steve's other article about the octopus? Is that the one that he said disregard my email, or were you going to go this way?
I didn't see where it said disregard.
Okay. Well, then there's a comment on Facebook that says disregard his email, so that must be the comment he also put in about the music. Okay,
Oh,
we'll go on to futurism.com then.
Ooh,
This isn't even part of the
futurism.
news. This is user contributed. We have our listener contributed. I'm sorry, I made a big mess of things.
User.
I'm going to use user this excuse as a cheap way to use cam number 2. So the United Kingdom has confirmed what everybody who ugly cried during My Octopus Teacher already knew. Octopuses are sentient, capable, that is, of perceiving things like pain and pleasure. The country is adding an amendment to its animal welfare sentience bill to recognize creatures such as octopi, octopuses also works, crabs, squids, and lobsters, along with all other decapod crustaceans and cephalopod mollusks. For those of you that didn't understand, it's the things I listed a minute ago. Those are sentient creatures, according to the press release from the UK Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. The bill aims to ensure animal sentience taken into account when developing government policy, and as such could inform debates around animal rights and dietary choices. Oh, no more octopus sushi. Or
Well, that's what I was trying to figure.
we're going to start seeing octopus characters on Star Trek Lower Decks.
There you go.
Why not?
We've already
Why-
got
the
the
dolphins-
beluga whales. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got the beluga whales. So yeah, why not have the octopus? You know, they
And
can.
then-
I tell you,
does-
talk about multitasking.
Does he live in a garden?
The octopus's garden?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Ringo Starr, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm wondering is, are they going to eventually include lobsters in that?
I thought they said lobsters were in there.
It didn't. Well, it
Lobsters
didn't. It
and
didn't.
crabs and-
Decapods
I
and
didn't
crustacea-
see. Well, I didn't see the name lobster per se, but that certainly is going to kind of
Yeah,
it's
it
going to
says
make
read more
having lobster
lobsters,
thermogor a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
It said
If you
octopus,
scroll down-
crabs, squids, and
Oh,
lobsters.
there's lobsters. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
What about
Well-
Zoidberg?
At least it didn't say shrimp.
Uh-oh.
We had shrimp legs for.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had shrimp,
yeah,
for
shrimp
dinner tails
No,
in their
this-
linguine.
Wait, did you
isn't
say
that
you had
the
shrimp legs?
The shrimp
Yeah.
legs?
Yeah. Aren't those the legs?
No,
Oh,
no.
that wasn't shrimp legs.
How many
That's
would you
what my
have to
little
eat?
brother called them.
Crab.
He thought
And
the
the tails
shrimp
without-
was the shrimp leg.
No, they're the tentacles that come out and get you.
I don't
And he
think I
also
want a
called-
pound. I don't think I
he
want a
also
pound
said-
of shrimp legs.
Yeah. He also said machine gun cherries too. So anyway,
That's like the misheard lyrics somebody gave me last night while I was doing karaoke. I sang Neil Sedaka's "Laughter in the Rain." And-
Ooh, I hear laughter.
Yeah.
in the room.
I get a message during the live stream from the sister of a classmate, and she says, "You know, we always used to say I left her in the rain."
what about? Do you like peeing in a car lot?
Okay, we could go on that
It-
tangent
it
for a
gives
while.
a whole new meaning to "or standing in the rain."
Yeah.
Think
Right.
about
Stop. No, that you just opened a Pandora's box. We're gonna close that one off
Another letter from our listener, Dave.
and run right for the History Hills. On this day in history for, what is it, December 8th? How did we get here?
Oh my lord!
wow.
Yeah, no kidding. 2021, it's the 342nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, and there are just 23 days remaining in 2021. We forgot to
Yikes.
get on our D20s. Hold on.
Yikes.
We need to pause.
We need to roll for initiative.
Oh dear! Where's the die?
Fortunately, they're within the reach of a headphone cord. All right, take your favorites.
I'm trying to remember where did I put my dice?
Oh, I'm not doing well. Craig's failing even worse.
I got an 11.
Roll a d20.
You got a 20?
He asked Google.
Oh.
I got a 6. Thanks, Google.
That's okay. So it's Keith, Ben, Craig, Chuck. We'll see if we can keep that order. Keith, Ben, Craig, Chuck. Okay.
You
He's-
rolled a 4.
Yeah, I wrote a 4,
What did he roll?
6.
And what did you
No.
roll?
I rolled 11.
Oh, you rolled the 11. Okay, I,
rolled
thought he
11.
rolled the 11.
No, I
rolled
did.
a 1.
Okay. Keith, no, Ben, Keith. I'm pointing right at him. I can't get it right. Ben, Keith,
fine.
Craig, Chuck.
It's me
Oh,
and
that's
Ken.
easy.
Imagine Craig is sitting on that end of the table. We shouldn't have a
No,
problem.
no, Craig's right there. So it starts with me and it
Yeah,
goes all the way
there you go.
around.
Okay,
There we
just like on the screen.
Yeah.
Craig,
I
can
need
you
a
keep up with
telepresence-
that? You have-
I think
You're
I need
after
a
Keith.
telepresence robot in that room.
I need to write a ServiceNow app to get this workflow straight. Okay, resume the music.
Resume.
I don't remember how to resume. I never pause anything.
Resume.
Maybe we should just start over.
Just start over.
If
Yeah,
it'll let you.
if it'll let me.
There you
There
go.
we go. Whatever. Okay, take the first bullet, Mr. High Roller.
It was on this date in 1660 that a woman, either Margaret Hughes or Anne Marshall, appeared on an English public stage for the first time in the role of Desdemona in a production of Shakespeare's play Othello.
It was also this date in 1941 that World War II U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt declared December 7th to be a date which will live in infamy.
So he said that the day after.
Yes.
Okay.
After which the U.S. declares war on Japan.
And speaking of U.S. presidents, that same date in 1953, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower delivered his Atoms for Peace speech, which led to an American program to supply equipment and information on nuclear power to schools, hospitals, and research institutions around the world.
Atoms for Peace.
He was out selling, delivered his atoms for. Would you like some atoms?
You couldn't really see them, but yeah, just buy them. That's okay.
It was on this date in 1990 that the Galileo spacecraft flew past Earth for the first time.
Hey.
Exactly 2 years later, the Galileo spacecraft flew past Earth for the second time.
And that was 4 years later.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Guess
Sorry.
what happens next?
Right.
Also, today in 2010, the Japanese solar powered spacecraft Icaros, or Icaros, or how Ikaros, passed the planet Venus at a distance of about 80,800 kilometers.
Yes.
And it was on that same date in 2010 with the second launch of the Falcon 9 and the first launch of the Dragon. SpaceX became the first private company to successfully launch, orbit, and recover spacecraft.
They have done some wonderful stuff.
I like this one. It was on this date in 2013 that Metallica performed a show on Antarctica, making them the first band to perform on all 7 continents.
Wait a minute. Zoom doesn't count.
YouTube,
I'm just kidding.
or it didn't happen.
Right. Want to see them out in the snow. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was 2 years ago today,
Oops.
the first case. What have you done? I can't read the rest of that.
I accidentally right-clicked something there.
Yeah,
Thank
there we
you.
go.
No,
Translate.
you can skip this one anyway.
No.
Exactly.
2 years ago today, the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in China was reported.
Woo. Where does the time go when you're having
Yes.
fun?
Happy birthday goes out to Queen Mary.
It should say Mary Queen of Scots. Not
Mary-
sure.
Yeah, you
This
messed
one
me
got
up.
parsed a little weird.
I'm having a hard time seeing it that far away anyway.
Zoom in and enhance.
Mary, Queen of Scots, daughter of James V of Scotland and Mary of Guise at wherever.
Linlithgow.
Linlithgow Palace. Mary, born on this date in 1542. That
Is it related to
exactly-
John Lithgow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
I always remember that
constructed
Monty
sentence.
Python short sketch. You are Mary Queen of Scots.
Yeah. then you hear all the furniture being overturned. I think she's dead.
Yeah, right. Eli Whitney, the American engineer, invented the cotton gin, was born 200.
Gin?
Yeah. Yeah, just remove cotton.
Wow.
Invented gin. Invented the
Ooh.
cotton gin, was born 256 years ago today.
I don't
That's
like cotton gin.
100 in hex for those of you that are nerds.
Hey, he doesn't look a day over 255.
You don't drink cotton gin, Craig.
Oh, that's right.
Danish astronomer and mathematician Peter Andreas Hansen was born on this date in 1795.
And French actor, director, producer, and screenwriter Georges Méliès was born 160 years ago today.
Voyage to the moon.
Voyage to the Moon, among other things. 500
Phenomenal
films.
filmmaker.
500
Yeah, he
films.
was breaking new ground.
Oh, he was more than a pioneer.
Exactly. Born December 8th, 1861, American businessman, founded General Motors and Chevrolet, William C. Durant.
An American cartoonist who created Popeye, E.C. Seeger, not related to Bob Seger, born on this date in
How do you know?
1894.
Are you sure?
How do you know?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I
How
don't
do
know.
you know?
Doesn't say it there.
It may be. I
Do
don't
you
know.
know?
Yeah.
Katerina Yushchenko. Yushchenko.
Yushchenko.
Wow, that's actually easier to read than it looks,
Yeah.
isn't it? A Ukrainian computer scientist and academic was born 102 years ago today.
Julia Bowman, American mathematician and theorist, was born on that same day in 1919.
American actor, singer, and dancer Sammy Davis Jr. was born 96 years ago.
Allow me to tell you a little bit about Sammy Davis Jr.
And Vladimir.
The Candyman.
That song is just creepy now when you listen to it. He sounds very predatory.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
something
a
like
little bit.
Come around.
Yeah.
especially in his later days.
Right. Vladimir Shatilov, the Kazakhstani general pilot and astronaut, was born 94 years ago today.
Hey, they're good.
American actor, director, and producer David Carradine. He was Kung Fu, was he
Kung
not?
Fu.
Yeah.
Kwai Chang
Qui-Gon
Kane.
Quite. I'm sorry, I was getting mixed up with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah,
No.
Oh, wait.
He was a
It's another
Jedi.
kind of
That's
Jinn.
that's another kind of gin. Yeah.
Well, anyway, David Carradine was born today, 1936, if anybody cares.
Born December 8th, 1943, American paleontologist and ornithologist Larry Martin. Oh my God, it's wrapping up.
Also, whoops, we restart that music. Also born on the same date in 1947, American astrophysicist, astronomer, and academic Margaret Geller.
Clever.
And
We still
English.
have some birthdays to do here.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, I was just thinking we should extend that and make them play faster towards the end. They're playing us out. All right, English publisher and businessman who founded Northern and Shell, Richard Desmond, was born on this date in 1951.
Even Clinton remembered, "Are you Mary, Queen of Scots?"
Yeah.
Oh, also turning 68 today is American actress Kim Basinger.
How about that?
And this is interesting because also born on that same day in 1964, American actress Terry Hatcher. And just the other day, I reshared a photo on Facebook of me with Terry Hatcher, whom I bumped into at Disneyland.
Did you wish her happy birthday?
I didn't know it was her birthday, but I just asked if I could take her picture. She said absolutely. She was totally
Wednesday,
wonderful.
on December 8th, Wednesday, December 8th, you have to send her that picture and go, "Happy birthday,
Happy
if I knew
birthday.
how
Yeah.
to.
BFF!"
We'll just send
But
it
then
on,
if I-
on Twitter.
I suppose I could do that, but
Just tag her.
then I'm afraid she's going to say stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the one who offered to take the picture.
Yeah. Irish singer-songwriter Sinead O'Connor, born on this date in 1966.
Nothing compares to you.
Or you.
Okay, should we rifle through the listener birthdays?
There you
Yes, go for it.
Okay, December 8th has two birthdays. One is Dan D. Man, one of our favorite patrons. Gideon is also on the 8th. Steve Kite on the 9th. The 12th has a cornucopia. Decker D. That's a Blade Runner reference, by the way. I used to work with this
Really?
guy on the 12th. Kevin Burns, also on the 12th. Matt Blocker, the Giant. Hey, I wonder if that's the same. No, it's the Giant Nothing that contributes to Astronomy Cast. Never mind. Great handle, by the way. The Giant Nothing.
Yeah.
Rob Reel, friend of ours. And, speaking of Astronomy Cast, didn't even see it there. December 12th is Dr. Pamela Gay from Astronomy Cast. We have one more birthday, Michael Spence from Brother Osric Scriptorium on the 14th. Happy birthday to all of you. And if it is your birthday sometime this upcoming week, we wish you all the best. And if it's not your birthday, we still wish you all the best. We do want to get you on the birthday calendar. Craig, this is a title opportunity. Roll that little subtitle thing.
Sorry, I'm trying to
Go
get used
over
to doing
to
that.
chuckchat.com/birthday and get your name on the birthday calendar, and we will call your name out at the appropriate time of year. Oh, good. We didn't use up two lengths of this song.
Oh,
Yeah,
why not?
I already have like a 9-minute version of that song
Oh,
sitting
dear.
around somewhere. Yeah, we won't worry about that.
You won't worry.
By the way, Bob Seger is not related to him because Bob Seger is Seger, not
That's his
AR.
stage name.
Ah,
Yeah, he changed the pronunciation. He changed the spelling just to avoid confusion with other people.
That's right.
That's
The
the way it
creator of
was on
Popeye.
this day in history for December 8th, 2021. All right, let's get into some news. Random button being pushed.
News and weather, everyone.
happy goes.
And Craig, I'm going to let you take this one
Okay.
because the next one has some really crazy words in it.
Oh,
Ah,
well, I'm
Oh.
disappointed now.
what are you saying?
Nothing.
Same.
Nothing.
nothing. We're
Same
not
thing we
casting
do every
aspersions on
week.
Everyone.
Right.
What
Okay.
do you want to podcast about tonight, Brain?
Well, yeah. The same thing we took every night, Pinky. All right. So we had talked about fusion reaction before, but this is the first time that we actually hit the major milestone, and they produced more power than they were putting into it.
I heard about this.
I didn't think this was possible to get more energy out of anything that you put in, but
Well,
I read
that's
something
the whole
when it
point
comes
about
to
the
fusion-
fusion reactor is that they knew it's possible or felt it was possible, and that's what they've been working towards. So anyway,
and it's from Lawrence
it's that
Livermore,
dark
so
matter. It's that dark matter stuff, you
It-
know.
okay.
it's
Just throw dark matter in there, you know.
Dark matter
God
between
said
my ears.
Doc Ock said it right. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I just watched Spider-Man the other day, so anyway.
So I thought this was pretty cool because the way they did this is they create this teeny little container. What do they call it? The hull room. Okay, a fuel capsule is placed in a hollow gold chamber about the size of a pencil eraser called a holorum, and they bombard this thing with lasers to produce X-rays that then ignite the stuff inside.
Don't you mean X-rays and things?
No, not yet. Save that. We got
We're gonna get to the raisin things.
Craig, you're ruining the whole build up here.
You're ruining the whole thing.
Sorry.
You're ruining the game. You're giving the game away.
You're the one who put these shows together. I just make a program
I'm
out
the
of
one that
it.
put spoilers for MCU movies all over the internet in the titles.
Wash dies.
Yeah.
Wait, that one's already been played out.
No.
Darth is Luke's father.
Oh,
No,
my Lord.
That's what he said. But he did it with
crazy
more
talk.
drama.
that's true.
No.
No.
Anywho,
That's the echo. No.
so they've been building up to this, and they get a little more juice out of it every time, and they finally reach this threshold where they say, "Hey, we got more out of it." Now, somebody who wrote this article really needs to work on their marketing skills, because I read through this whole thing going, fascinating, but what's in it for me? It wasn't like, this is a new renewable source of energy. This is going to solve all our problems. In 10 to 15 years, we can expect blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Nothing in there. I went, people.
It sounds like it's more like a science, an
Well,
article for a science journal.
It's
for
sciencealert.com.
Yeah, it's
So
for other
I
people.
cut
in
him
the
some
field.
slack. But
Yeah,
it's
it's not meant
those-
for the general public.
it's on a website. The general public's going to find it.
I
yeah, but
know.
it's not aimed at
But-
them.
It's like a lot of websites that produce like tons of content. They start great. They'll do 2 or 3 paragraphs, and then all of a sudden they just stop writing. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and-
right.
And
and
Right.
Where's the rest
You
of the
can't leave me with
article?
You can't leave me with a cliffhanger.
and how do I get my tea from China?
Or horriblecomicbook.com. that can
Oops.
No.
make 3 sentences into 5 paragraphs.
I
And
did
none
not
of them
say
are
that.
grammatically correct.
I did not say that.
And there's 12 graphics, and 2 of them are ads.
Hey,
That did
Hey,
not come
speaking
from
of-
me.
Speaking of articles, I think in the since newspapers are obviously going away, and media, you get all your stories on the internet for
Yep.
the most part. Is it me, or have you seen that? I think we need some more editorial
Oh God.
preview because I see
please.
so much grammar and incorrect
Oh,
grammar.
Yes. Yes.
all the
Holy
time.
moly.
Like these
I
people do not know how to edit, spell, speak.
Yeah.
I'll
Construct a sentence.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe English isn't their first language.
No.
Well,
No?
No.
we really ripped the label off of that one.
I
I'm a little more
forgiving.
forgiving if it's somebody's personal blog, but if it's on like,
But
a
if you're
major
writing for a major
site-
newspaper,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
what
like the the New York Times or something like that. I mean, I've
I've
seen
caught
some of the
a-
worst egregious
I've caught
grammatical
a couple
errors
things
on
in
those.
the New York
I was
Times.
I was
or
reading
the-
something. I think it was on
Washington Post.
MSNBC, and I was like, "Are you serious? Who wrote this?"
And who edited it?
Nobody.
Oh,
Right.
nobody.
Nobody.
That's who.
Exactly.
Yeah, even some things do sneak through, even if you do have someone else proofread it. And
Oh yeah.
but I'll like draft something on a Saturday, have somebody review it on Monday. I'll reread it on Tuesday before I post it on Wednesday, and that
Really?
usually gets out most of the stuff.
Whenever I write a review, I always run it through 2 different grammatical checks.
Yep.
2 different, Grammarly, and then the one that's just natively built into Word.
I don't do squat.
A lot of times, if it's
That's why a lot of-
if it's really important, I'll let Donna read it. She'll tear it
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah, right.
but I don't write. So
Oh,
Anyway.
you did say earlier that you were the illegitimate Olsen twins.
Yeah.
I mean, the illiterate Olsen twins.
Illiterate also.
Illiterate.
Exactly. Well, I always tell people I have to put my headset on because I have to type with both fingers.
That's right.
Okay, let's do. Wait, this was in a different category. We
Oh,
only
yeah.
had one news story, didn't we?
One news.
Yeah.
One
kinda
good news.
I think all
We
our
got-
articles, all our groups have one article.
Then hacks and strange stories it is. Let's move on to a mineral that should not exist on the surface of the Earth.
Really?
But, uh,
This made me think it came from space, but it does not. Would anybody care to read this?
No.
Ben shakes his
Not
head.
you? Okay.
Give it to Craig.
I'll give you a hint. Oh, give it to Craig.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Go ahead, Craig.
All right. Researchers discover a mineral that shouldn't exist on Earth's surface, but was found inside of a diamond. The mineral,
comes.
Davamite.
Nope. Try again.
Nope.
Nope.
Davy-
Try again.
Will you stop it? Dave Moaite.
Nope. It's
Did you
actually
read it?
defined later in the next paragraph. It's Dave Mowite.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Wow.
Yes.
I never would have got that.
I
never
worked
would've
on
got
it 3
that
or 4
one.
times.
I
too.
would have never
No.
gotten that.
No.
No, that's not what I came up with either.
It's not your fault, Craig.
All right. Well, whatever.
This
It was
time.
one.
Crap.
It was one of the options, but I went. It can't be.
Dave Moaite. Anyway, so it was found inside of a diamond from inside of from an African mine. It was last dug up decades ago by Botswana at the Oropa mine, the largest open cast diamond mine.
Wow.
So Oliver Tashner,
Schauner.
Schauner. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Schauner.
A gym chemist at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and his colleagues studied Dave Moaite. There you go.
Mao.
Another,
Mao, like
huh?
German Mao,
What?
Mao?
like
Mao?
like Mao
What's that?
Zedong.
Dave Moaite.
Mao
Moaite.
Not
Zedong?
Oh,
Mao
Moaite.
Zedong?
Mao.
Mao
Okay.
Zedong?
You'll see. It comes up here.
All right. And other minerals trapped in deep earth diamonds. According to the findings published in Science,
Science.
Science.
Schauschner, how'd you say it? Schauschner.
Schnauzer.
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 Yeah, there we go.
Schnauzer.
That works.
Name the mineral after Ho Kong Dave Mao.
There.
Oh,
See,
my.
Dave Mao,
Yeah.
Interesting.
because nobody could pronounce Ho Kwang.
Right. No
Come,
question.
Dave. I'm sure he loves that.
The scientists who made many pioneering discoveries in high pressure geochemistry and geophysics.
Okay,
There's a-
we can
there's a
stop
picture
there
of it
before
right
you
there.
hurt yourself.
And
Yeah,
there's
there is a
picture
cool
of it you can
picture.
see.
Interesting.
Proving that not all diamonds are clear and go on engagement rings.
Yeah.
But there's all these elements that are part of our core of our planet. Like
Right.
they said 6 or 7% of the core is made up of, the uranium and the other crazy chemical elements that are down there. Heavy radioactive stuff shouldn't exist on the surface. But what happened is in the formation of the pressure of the carbon turns into a
Right,
diamond.
Right.
These little particulates got trapped in there and then they get carried to the surface. And these are extremely rare, but this is the only way they can study them safely.
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about how diamonds are produced, they're from coal, and what was coal originally, and
Yep.
it was peat, and peat was dead plants, and
Peat is a dead plant?
yes.
Oh.
Uranium,
that's wrong.
thorium, and
Or peat.
potassium. So cool
I
stuff.
hate it for Pete, by the way.
Dave Moaite is one of the 3 main minerals in the Earth's lower mantle that makes up 5% to 7% of the material in the mantle, Schauner
Wow.
told Live Science. So yeah, cool
Cool.
stuff.
Far out.
Yeah, wow.
It's like, can you imagine? The gemologist is looking at the engagement ring, going, "Oh, there's some nice inclusions." Oh, we can't give you that one.
Yeah. Right.
What is that? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm blind now.
Yeah. Why is this thing so warm?
Yeah.
How many of these do you think get by unrecognized?
Well, if they're really, really tiny,
Yeah.
something that somebody wouldn't normally see.
I don't know if they're studying them for clarity and stuff, they might come across this more often than you think. I don't know. Just
Who knows?
I mean, they're
Well,
looking.
at least
and-
maybe
and
now they're
maybe-
more aware of
Well,
it.
and maybe a lot in industrial diamonds.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they usually, segregate those from the clear ones that they're going to use for
Right.
jewelry.
Right.
And
And they
the
don't
the
look at
brown
those.
ones, the yellow
Yeah.
ones, the green ones, they go to industrial. So they probably wouldn't be looking in. As we saw from the picture, that one was pretty green.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just the
Yeah.
color of the picture or something.
Especially the
So
outside of the outer
how many
shell
of those
it.
don't get detected?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna say
We
it's
could
it
be
is
polluting the atmosphere,
it does have that yellowish green on the
digging up
outside of
those
it.
diamonds.
we're probably polluting more than the atmosphere on those things.
Yeah.
All right, quick shout out to the chat room.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Moving
Hey,
on.
See ya.
9:30 Eastern time for Facebook and YouTube. If you want to join us live, be part of this craziness, come on over. You can find us facebook.com/Technorama podcast or go to chuckchat.com/Technorama. We'll see you there. We've got a YouTube channel, as you might have discovered already. 9:30 Eastern. Doesn't matter if you change your clocks, because we'll make sure we get there on time. We did start a few minutes early tonight. But
Good.
thank you, everybody. Who's in the chat room that you see, Craig?
I see Mike Robeson, Dan
Yes.
Coyer, Clinton.
That's our dandy man.
Howard.
Happy birthday to you, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I meant to call him out. He said Dave.
I already threw that title up there.
Dave.
Try to keep up.
I'm too busy reading the article. So there was Clinton, and then there's John Miller Jr., our buddy Gary Lindros, and I think that's about it there for the chat room.
All right. Good. Then that means we're already down to the remember when. So I don't remember anything, so we'll have to move on from this. Okay. Now, here's the story that you kind of already alluded to.
Uh-oh.
The title is Cosmic Ray Discovery both confirms and complicates the Viking legend.
Those raisin things.
No, spam.
Mhm.
Bloody Vikings.
It is related to cosmic rays and things. Let me just read you the
Raisin
synopsis here.
things.
So, Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red,
Right.
remember him? They said, oh, he went up to go claim Greenland.
He went exploring.
And he went a little further and kind of landed in North America, up in Newfoundland. But that was the way the story was told in the year 1200, about 200 years after he actually did this. And people started going, really? Did he really? What archaeological evidence? What do we have to prove this happened? Well, it turns out about the time he was landing, we had this enormous solar activity that sent cosmic rays spiking.
Wow.
It was a very unique event that didn't happen very often. So they could see this in the tree rings. And they said, you made an axe handle out of that tree. And it was cut down 30 years after this. So we know when that axe handle was put to use.
Oh.
So they did a little bit of this, and then they could more accurately do it with some other tests. But it was like, so what these people said too. I mean, imagine trying to articulate the history of 1821 today.
Right.
I mean, sure, maybe 3 years ago you can get a digital camera and something's on the internet and it's very well documented, but it's a testament to how well the oral history was passed on in days before we had, I don't know if they had a written history among the Vikings.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Only in blood.
That's Klingon history.
Blood on the walls.
So I thought this was an extremely
cool, yeah.
fascinating article that confirmed the historical documents, that confirmed the oral tradition.
The historical documents?
I mean, the historical...
Those poor people on Gilligan's Island.
I thought he was talking about Galaxy Quest.
The history that they... Stop. I'm overboard. So,
it is pretty cool. I did like the idea of them.
they should have just pointed to the statue and went, well, who made that?
Yeah, exactly. What's that doing there?
Yeah.
That's proof he was here.
Exactly.
Looking at the axe handle, I thought that was interesting bit of detective work there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what else was happening around the globe at that time that they can go look for evidence of that. Like, what happened around the year 1000 AD?
Yeah. Be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not up on 1000 AD history, so.
Leif Erikson, wasn't he that heartthrob in the 70s?
Yes, he was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, he's aged great.
It was Leif Garrett.
Oh,
Yeah.
him.
No,
He
he's
didn't do well.
he's the game maker astronomer astronaut guy.
Oh, dear.
What?
Sure.
I'm seeing if Craig can keep up here.
No,
That's Richard Garriott.
I know. I know that. Yes.
Wasn't that a guy on Match Game? No, that's Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
other
he
name
was
for
on
Richard
Hogan's
is?
Heroes.
I'm sorry.
That too.
Hey, thanks to the patrons.
Is it patron time?
It looks like
is.
it's patron time.
Oh my goodness. And we lost a patron this week, I'm sorry to
Oh,
say.
no.
Yeah, so I'm leaving it up to the listener to figure out who's missing from the list.
Hey,
So-
but we got more blocks open.
Yes, that brings opportunities to this exclusive club. If you want to be part of the exclusive club for as little as $1, Craig, he's already got it. Thank you. Don't have to remind him of the roll in the title. But let's thank the people first, then tell others how they can join this exclusive club. Thank you very much to Alexis Duran. Thank you, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Avner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown. We're going to try and get him back in the studio at some point, too. Wrong camera, Charles. There, that's the one I want. For some reason, I think I'm on the other button.
Oh.
Brian Brown, Chris MC, Birthday Boy, Dan D-Man Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, who's online and chatting with us today, John Clifford, John Noble.
John Noble.
Yes,
That's
John
our
Noble.
John Noble.
Yeah.
Why we bring him back just so we can get that sound bite. We'll have to
right.
remove the distortion from Ben's mic, though. Yorga Shrowen, Kyle Nishioka. I think he was patron number 1. Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Mike Wills, Chris Martinez, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Therian, Steve Cody, and Sweet Steve from Sweden, Steve London. Thank you very much for being our patrons. You make it possible for us to do this live streaming. You make it possible for us to do the hosting and the bandwidth and all that other good stuff. The headphones that Ben and Keith and I are wearing straight out of the Patreon fund. Thank you very much for... Now it won't switch back to the other camera. There we go.
There we go. There's the headphone.
Guess I got to mash the button 3 or 4 times. If you want to be part of this,
How are they? Wait a minute. How are they, Keith?
They're good.
All right.
I like them.
And that's his review. Thank you for that.
I like them.
them good. Patreon.com/Technorama podcast for as little as $1 a show. And trust me, I did the budget recently. We are cutting it pretty fine as we close out 2021. And we're going to need your help in 2022 because the domain registration is coming for the next 5 years.
Ah,
And yeah,
all of that stuff.
all that stuff. And as we increase our storage, the costs go up.
Yep.
So these guys know
And
what
on
we're
a
talking
different
about.
server that's a little faster.
Now, we solved that problem a couple of years ago when we migrated. So thank you, everybody who makes this possible. And we look forward to any newcomers that want to be part of this. Again, patreon.com/Technorama podcast. Let's get rid of the music that might get us into trouble. No, that won't be a problem.
What?
We've played that before. And we are on to, pass me the remote. This is the Channel 12 news. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a better segue music than that.
Where'd you find that?
Oh, somewhere in the collection that I have of royalty free.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was out of Digital Juice or a collection I got for like $20.
Yeah, I didn't-
700 audio clips. Like,
Exactly.
half of which I already have.
Exactly. And
Yeah, I
one that you use.
Yeah, so-
$19.99.
Michael Armenigay left a bunch of stuff in his house along with digital assets.
Yeah.
Yes, quite a few.
I use Pond 5, so
Is that related to Ponfar?
yes.
Okay.
How'd you know?
Every 7 years,
every
you
7
you
years,
get crazy,
yeah.
No, it
throw
goes
soup
pond-
against the wall.
Yep.
It goes pond 1, 2, far. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Craig, don't even stop there. Stop there. It was funny when you went too far.
One too far.
Yeah, he went too far.
Went too far.
Stuff writes itself.
All right. Pass me the remote.
Okay,
What is this all about?
this is our movies and TV shows that we've recently seen, and we give our
Ah.
opinions and where you can find them. I mentioned this to you last
yeah,
week.
Right.
You had a couple in mind, so
Yes.
we can always
Right.
jot them down. Why don't we start with you two? You've
Yeah.
seen some interesting new things.
Yes, one that we really enjoyed a great deal. That's on Apple TV Plus, and that is Isaac Asimov's Foundation.
Oh my God.
I've
That
heard
was
good things.
spectacular.
I also heard it used to be a book. Isaac Asimov.
it
Yes,
used to be a book.
It used to
Still
be
is.
It's not a book anymore.
37 books.
it was, and it was. Yeah, it was kind of dry, and according
Oh,
to
as a book, it's impossible to read.
as the way I heard it from Dave Slusher, he recently mentioned this on the Evil Genius Chronicles. We should probably give him a shout out there at evilgeniuschronicles.org. He said, this is the show or the series that should not have been made based on its source material.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's way better.
oh, it's so much. Well, part of the problem.
Actually, iRobot is not too bad to read.
iRobot is
Yeah.
pretty good. But
It's the
I enjoyed
it's
that.
the foundation. It's like
Foundation is impossible to read, and
about
what
12 pages in, it's like, well,
Yeah, what happened
Yeah.
is when Asimov started to write more after the trilogy.
Yep.
And I read this in an interview with him, that obviously he gave years ago when he was still alive. But he said that
Really?
as
I
he
thought it
was,
might be
oh,
recent.
stop. So when he started to do the later books, he decided to take a look at his original trilogy and realized, I have no story here. There's no actual narrative. Nothing's happening. And I read that. I thought, well, no wonder I found the whole thing boring as hell.
So it's just a big descriptive paper.
Well,
It's just-
it was just like a
it's,
little bit of just vignettes all over the place.
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
nothing got connected. Now there's this very good narrative that drives the entire thing, and it literally does
Well, he
span.
started retconning.
Yeah,
everything.
he did a lot of
Okay.
retconning in his work, which is why eventually everything he wrote now became part of this. It's now one collective universe. So all the stuff in iRobot now figures into the Foundation series, and different little short stories that he wrote also now feature into the Foundation series. It's very convoluted. I would recommend go to Wikipedia and it'll put it all together for you. But the series itself, very easy to follow, covers thousands of
yeah.
years from the moment Harry Seldon first comes onto the stage and says, yeah, the Empire is about to fall. And it takes it all the way to Trantor, where a bunch of refugees got sent.
That was
No, Trantor, no, but Terminus.
Terminus.
Yeah, Terminus.
Mhm.
We see, oh my God, characters introduced all over the place. And yet you eventually see, you think,
it's all
how can
related.
this person connect to what Harry's doing? But then eventually, I
Yeah.
see now.
And the very last scene would put kind of two characters together that's
Sure.
like, oh,
And
I
it's-
didn't know that. I
and-
didn't realize
and
that.
it is set. And one thing that the series does is that it will actually jump time.
Yeah.
And because the final scene takes place way into the future.
Right.
And
Well-
heaven only knows what's happened to the Empire by
And
now.
then you also get a sense of iRobot from thousands of years
Yeah.
ago.
Huh.
Yeah. It's hinted at, but and also the robotic laws
Mhm.
of do no harm.
Right. Right.
And I'm not going to give anything away, but it's like, oh,
And the
Really?
production values are
Oh my
not to be
God, yeah.
believed. They are amazing.
Yeah.
This was, I heard this is supposed to be like,
It
it
is-
goes up
it-
against Netflix killers.
It really
Yeah,
does.
it's
And
worth watching.
there's plans for many more seasons. I haven't heard anything about a renewal, but I would say that
Good.
if they chose not to renew it,
it's
it ended on a great
perfect
spot.
ending. Yeah.
So it
I
can
thought
stand
it did.
alone. So
This first season could stand alone. I definitely want to see more. But what they gave us, I thought was amazing.
Nice.
okay. I'm gonna have to go
Okay.
check that out. I've been
Apple
trying to read
TV?
the book for,
Yeah,
for
on
years.
Apple TV.
Yep. Apple TV,
0 to 10. What would you rate it?
probably a 9.
Yeah, I would at least
Okay.
give it a 9.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I've been trying to read that book for like 5 years.
Oh, I've never been able to read it.
I'm trying. To read
I
it for
keep getting
25
lost
years.
out. I'm sometime.
I got a
into
couple
chapter
books
2,
like that too.
and I'm done. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, where's Harry? Harry Seldon's gone. Okay, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that Star Trek Prodigy, although you've probably talked about it on your topic
Yep.
is Trek, I think it's a great series. And I finally, in one of the episodes, I finally had to say, pause it And we talked about it because we do that a
Yep.
lot.
Yep.
I mean, we pause, talk about it, and then start it back up. But
Mhm.
I said, okay, I will accept what they did, the leaps in logic that they did do on Prodigy, but it's a children's program.
It's a
I had to
Nickelodeon.
really-
Yes.
I had to realize this is a children's program.
yeah,
So I
right.
will hand wave him.
I like it's a mixed blessing. I like the fact that they explain things like this is Starfleet and this is the Federation. Nobody's ever done that before. They just
Right,
sort of
right.
throw it out there and assume
Yeah,
you know
they
what
look
that
like
relationship
They're
is.
almost synonymous, the way they kind of handle it in
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
but to actually kind of really define it in Prodigy, I thought was a great idea.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea too. There's a couple of them where I think they're skirting that child, the younger audience a little too much. I got lost in one of the episodes going, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
Now,
think
maybe
that's
I
more about
have
you.
the
That's
6-year-old.
probably where.
Yeah.
I think it says more about
Isn't
Chuck
he
than it does the
Vader?
6-year-old.
Why was she, what, you know, the planet that was messing with their minds.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I wasn't continually reminding myself what you
Mhm.
see may not be real.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And I just started believing what was on the screen going, how is a kid supposed to pick this up? You know, it's like,
Right.
so
Hey, I
Yeah.
think it says more about Chuck than the 6-year-old.
pretty much, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you know, the
Because
fact that, you know, the father is abandoning the child, like, what
Yeah.
kind of message is that?
Exactly. Well,
Oh, I kind
I'm
of got
a-
upset that they left that felinoid, the young felinoid on that one slave planet. It's like, how dare you?
Leave
It's
the
it's
cute kitty
the,
cat.
the kitty cat character. You left it behind.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. So I'm a
Yeah.
stickler for continuity type stuff, and it was driving me crazy. And then I just said, okay, it's a children's program.
Yeah.
Just
Move
I'm
on.
let
enjoying it.
let it go.
I'm enjoying
Yeah,
how
I-
it's
I am
playing
enjoying
out.
After
Yep.
that, it was like, okay, I can
Yep.
watch this.
So
And
I
we have
have,
mentioned this on the topic
Topic
is
is-
Trek, but how I brought it up several times and how well it looks, how beautiful this show looks.
Aha.
Yeah, it's a very slick looking
it
show.
reminds me very much of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms
John
of
Miller
quality,
Jr.
the production, the story. Yep.
Yeah. John Miller Jr. says Hit Monkey on Hulu, which I've seen a few episodes
What's
of
a
that,
Hit
which
Monkey?
it's
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen
What-
it.
It's,
I don't
I'm
even know what
familiar
it's
with
about.
it. I am familiar with it. I have not watched it. Now, you had made mention of Dan Brown,
Oh, the lost symbol.
which is on the Peacock streaming service.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's a Dan Brown, and it is a typical Dan Brown mystery type of thing. But there were 10 episodes. But I think what happened in the process of writing the 10 episodes, they only had 6 episodes of material, so they did a lot of
spread it
padding.
out.
And it
Yeah,
just,
unnecessarily
at
so.
the end, it was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Are you just ever going to move on from
Yeah,
this?
they included story elements that they never resolved.
What's it called?
What's-
The Lost.
It's called the Lost
The
Symbol,
lost symbol.
Okay.
and it's about.
I mean,
the
it's a great series.
It's
Symbol as in iconography.
yes, yes.
Not symbol as in cling.
no. As
Like
in,
Kong-
Yes,
yeah.
the lost symbol.
it's
Get your ding out there.
it.
The lost symbol.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
All right, I didn't hit it anyway. Go ahead.
It's about Robert Langdon, the
Yes.
the Tom Hanks character from The Da Vinci
Mhm.
Code.
As a
Right.
young
Oh,
man.
right.
As a young man, he's a university professor, and the cast is great.
Yeah.
and that's what
Oh,
kept,
they are
that-
really good.
That's what kept me coming back to the show. But the story did get very weak in the last third.
Long in the tooth.
Yeah, it really did.
Very long.
Okay.
So I'd give that like a 6, maybe a 7.
Craig and I. Craig, are you done with season 3 yet?
I'm not done with it. I've
I'm
just
not
started.
either. I'm up to about episode 9.
I'm surprised you
Oh.
guys got through the end of season 1. I hated that
Lost
show.
in Space.
Really?
I came into it a skeptic, like I do with many shows that are
Yeah.
reboots.
I came
Yeah.
into it a skeptic and quit watching after episode 1.
I
I
never watched
Really?
it. Period.
it got legs.
I watched the
It got
You-
legs.
You watched the first one with
Plus,
me?
though.
So season 3 is moving along. I'd say
Warning,
they're
warning.
probably throwing in too many adversarial situations at this
Mhm.
point. It's like they can't tie their shoes without something catching on fire at this
Oh,
point.
yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah. Yeah, you're
I
right a little
got
bit.
lost after the 5th episode. It's of the first season. I thought this writing is terrible.
And speaking of, did you know that this week is also Dick Tufeld's birthday?
And
Warning, warning.
the voice of the original robot.
Yep, the original robot is his birthday this week. So he was also the narrator
I love that voice,
for
by the way.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and Fantastic Voyage and Time
Speaking
Tunnel.
of voices,
Yes.
for whatever reason, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Ted Cassidy.
Oh
Mhm,
yes,
You know who that is?
Lurch.
Lurch. Do you
Mhm.
know he also appeared on many other shows and voiceovers?
Oh yeah.
Probably most notable as Rock on Star Trek, What Little Girls Are Made Of. You know,
Well, he more than the voice. He was the character.
Yeah, he was the character. He was also the voice. This is the one that I didn't realize. He was the voice on the opening narration of The Incredible Hulk.
I did know that.
Yes.
I did know that.
There were some other ones he did commercials and whatnot. Like,
Oh, yeah,
wow.
It's amazing. Some
And
of these,
he varied his pitch a lot. He wasn't always the Lurch voice, but
Right.
only when he had to be. But incredible guy.
How could you be, for crying out loud, trying to carry a conversation as Lurch? Red.
You're right.
You're right. Nobody can do that like he does.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you have something, Craig?
Where are we going? No, we were both doing Lost in
You both
Space.
were doing Lost.
Yeah, I
We
didn't
both
really
did
have
Lost in
anything
Space.
else. Yeah,
Ah.
I've actually, I've been kind of weaving in the last couple of seasons of Seinfeld. I've been watching that since it was on Netflix.
We watched tons of stuff recently, but those two were
All right.
the big ones.
Then we go to
Hey, wait a minute.
the
You know what's
media
funny?
corner.
Hold
Yes?
on before you go. So what's funny is I've been
Uh-oh.
watching Seinfeld, and I'm not.
You're
I was
droiding.
never-
Yeah, he just turned into a robot himself.
What
No.
timing?
No, y'all are breaking up too.
Okay,
Interesting.
well,
Must be the
Can-
internet.
something's up because the iPad just lost track of the mixer for a
Yeah.
second, but we're still recording the audio. Keep going.
One of the
right.
internets is down.
Yeah. So what I was saying was I never really watched Seinfeld very closely when it was on. I saw a few episodes here and there. So watching it back, I go, oh, I get what people have been. It's like
No soup for you?
well, I knew that part. I knew that. There's some other ones, but it's like some of the things I go, oh, that's where that came from.
There's a
You know.
lot of really good satirical value in Seinfeld.
Hmm.
I think
I mean,
I've seen
like-
one episode.
Well, the one that I think of is that George and Seinfeld. I can't remember who the characters are, but they're complaining about a spitball that happened at the end of a baseball game or something like that, and they were likening it to JFK's assassination.
oh, for heaven's sake.
It was hilarious the way they did it.
Studying a Zapruder film for a spitball?
Well, talking about how
My head went back into the left.
the spitball must have come from over that grass Nolly Hill, or something like
Right.
that. It's like, okay,
Right.
brilliant. Yeah. But the way they played it and the investigation they took to try and figure out where it came from was quite smart.
And of course, we're into our Christmas watching, our 3,000 movies that we have.
Which we'll never get through.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Sounds like a good segue to the media corner.
Yeah.
I will
The
say
media
one
corner.
more thing.
Nope.
One
Anytime
more.
Jerry Stiller is on there, it's gold. That's gold.
Oh, well,
Gold, Jerry. It's gold.
He is
That's
good.
right.
He is
Yeah.
great.
Okay. Media corner then it is.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Hey, where can I find some good information about music and TV and videos and things?
In
Over
things,
here, in the media corner.
videos and things.
And things.
It's right next to the raisin things. Go check
Right.
out the end things section. It's on aisle 5 and things. We have a story about what you're really hearing when R2d2 screams in Star Wars. I didn't realize it
Things.
was the same sound effect for all the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I did. I recognized it.
I would
But
think
this
so.
this is an interview, and I encourage you to click through the show notes and watch the video. It's about 35 minutes in length, and he goes through the different categories of sound effects. This is an interview with what's his
With
name?
Ben
Ben
Burt.
Burt. Ben
Ben
Burt.
Burt.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
So
Actually,
spoiler alert on what R2D2 Scream is.
Mhm.
Take a guess. You know that some of his sound effects were organic; they came from animals, and some of them were electronic. Some of them were.
Oh, so what's the source of this? Of the
What is
sound?
the source of R2D2?
And he was famous for layering
It's
a bunch
not
of sounds.
a layered. It's not a layered effect.
It's not a layered
No,
effect.
it is a single sound.
It's a rat screaming.
Nope.
Nope.
Actually, the tauntauns are made up of sea otters.
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
This came from his own scream. Said, I had a room in George Lucas's house where the offices were, but I was down in the basement when I wanted to record something. I didn't have a recording booth. I used to get under a big table down in the room where I worked with a microphone and kind of curled up in a corner. And one day, I just made a scream. I just screamed. Maybe there was some stress behind it. That scream, sped up, is used pretty much straight up as R2D2 Scream.
Wow.
That,
Yeah.
every time he gets blown up or zapped or thrown out of something.
It's like the Star Wars equivalent of the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Pretty
exactly.
much. But yeah, excellent stuff. They talked about, of course, Darth Vader's voice.
Right.
And they play some of the voices like in early recordings before they really fleshed them out. Yoda sounded more like
Fozzie Bear.
Ernie. You know, it was
Ernie,
you could hear it wasn't quite, he didn't have the gravel in it yet. You know,
Yeah.
much to do there is nothing about. It was more like, much to do there is nothing about. Like, no.
So where's Bert?
Yeah, exactly. More Grover. We need more Grover.
Didn't he say that it wasn't written backwards kind of speak at first?
Originally, he wasn't even supposed to voice Yoda.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was like, it was pretty much known from the beginning that Frank would do the puppetry, but not the voice.
Ah.
And it took about a year of them going through different
People.
auditions.
Yeah.
And then finally Lucas comes around and says, why don't you try it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I caught with my friends from high school. We caught and saw. We saw Empire Strikes Back the night it came out,
Mhm.
and the moment when Yoda shows up and says, "Wait, put your weapons. I mean you no harm." We all looked at each other and went, "Fozzie Bear."
Right.
Waka, waka, waka.
Exactly.
Waka
The-
waka.
The what was the other one? It was just really interesting behind the scenes stuff of where they came up with these sound effects. The layering, I'll tell you that he goes through every single layer in the Millennium Falcon Star
That's
Drive
impressive.
malfunction.
That's
Millennium
impressive.
Falcon.
Oh, look, hey, he's got the shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Where it
the
goes,
Star Drive malfunction is made
Yeah.
up of everything from an old biplane engine pump failing to there was the one I thought was the funniest is the sound effect where Darth Vader's helmet is being put on. You know, you catch that
Oh,
glimpse of the back of
bit of the vacuum seal.
the
Yeah.
vacuum seal. He says, "I took a vacuum hose, put the microphone up to here," and then he puts his hand on and goes, "Foomp." Like, no way.
But that's
No
it.
way.
I mean, you think about it, and then you play the sound in your head. Yep, I can just see that.
You can see it,
When-
and then once you see it,
Mhm.
all you can picture is that thing getting on his head. You expect the last couple inches just to be sucked on fast, like slower and slower. Foom.
You know, of course, the big problem though is that knowing this means that I can never watch these movies again.
Of course not.
Right.
It
Well,
just becomes a comedy at this point.
When I was a kid, I was watching the making of Star Wars, which I forget what channel.
Oh,
it was
I
on.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember seeing Ben Burt out there with a wrench, and he had like a little tape recorder and a microphone, and he's hitting the guy wire on a telephone pole in here.
to get for the,
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
lightsaber.
that was one of the first early.
Oh, for the blasters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the last-
That's right. That was for the blaster effect.
so it just that blew me away, and I had to go outside, and I was doing the same thing. It's like, oh, it totally does that.
I
Let me
discovered
find a
that as a
power
kid.
pole.
I had the old metal slinky,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'd stand up at the top of our stairs, and I'd put the slinky over the railing, and I'd tap on it, and you hear this pew, 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 pew,
Yeah.
pew, pew, like
Mhm.
that is a cool sound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How little did you know? If you had beaten Ben Burt to it, you could be a multi-millionaire.
I don't think
been
they would have
Burt.
hired a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Although they did hire Warwick Davis.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I do love Ben Burt though. I think he's done a great job with sound effects. It's amazing.
Yeah. All you fans out there, I encourage you to go to our show notes for episode 658. click through our Media Corner article and watch that video that's
Yeah.
in there. It's called Empire Strikes Back Sound Design Explained.
And by the way, when you go watch the video, it does have chapter markers on there, so you can jump around if you want to see something that catches your eye. And just listen to him, and they start explaining almost like a commentary, director's commentary, sort of, on the sound effects.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun because they show you the clip without any of the actor voiceovers. Sometimes it'll have just music and sound effects, and you can really feel how much the sound effects played a part in like the ambience of Dagobah.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And I didn't know what those little flying monsters were inside the worm either. I didn't know they had a name.
Minox?
Yes.
Minox?
Yeah.
They
It's a-
say that in the movie.
It's a horse weenie backwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the name Minox. That doesn't spell anything. I thought Minox was a laxative.
Yeah.
There you go. I better go take my Minox now.
All right, we have one more article. We're going to get through it real quick. An ultra compact camera that's the size of a grain of salt and takes
not
stunning
read this article
photos.
yet.
You haven't?
No,
It's
I've
interesting.
seen it several times, and I thought,
Yeah. I mean, just
it's kind of one of those things you scroll by and you say, "I'm going to come back to that," and then you
Oh,
get
shiny-
buried in
shiny
it.
nickel.
it's
Shiny
not
nickel.
it's not a CCD, a charge coupled device. So it's not a traditional like digital camera, but
Mhm.
it can take some stunning pictures. And the way they do this is by really dumbing down the hardware. The 3D image they have here is kind of interesting because it looks like all
yeah.
these little rods, and the rods capture rough images, and then the software algorithms sharpen it up for them.
It's
So
like
they
one
use
of those
AI.
Full field cameras or whatever it is.
Full frame,
Yeah, not full frame, but
full face. Facebook.
yeah, Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Friend
Facebook
face?
camera. No, it's about this big, and
That's not a help for our audio listeners.
Oh well, yeah. Well, it's about 4
Put it in
inches
front of the
long,
camera so that
and
everybody
it's
can
just
see it.
a singular lens, and it takes all of the light in. It takes
Yeah.
everything in,
And then does the
and then
processing.
the processing is done outside of that.
Yeah.
So
Took them a
That's what
long
it
time
sounds like
to
to do
come up
this.
with this.
yeah,
They said there were a whole bunch of challenges in here, but it's a very stunning technology. And I'd like to know where it's going to lead. This one, they did mention a few potential future use cases like, hey, let's go through the digestive system.
well, that was my first.
Size of a grain of salt, take pictures. Do you
Yeah.
see any cancerous things?
Injected into the liver or the kidneys or the
Yep.
any number of other places that you want to explore with a camera.
And that'll work great in conjunction with the gentleman who created these little almost nanobots made out of frog cells.
Go fix them. So you
Exactly.
spot
I mean,
something,
there's
then
still-
go sick the little
they're-
frog
they're
bots on
n-
them.
They're not quite small enough yet, but in time, he hopes to get them tiny enough so that they could be injected into the human bloodstream and be directed to wherever they need to go to do repairs.
Oh,
in
technology,
conjunction with
where
that-
were you
Just
when I was
talking along
young?
saying, "Ribbit." Well, what are we talking about now?
People start hopping all over. Ah, you got the frog bots in you.
I got the frog bots.
Yeah. Hey
Frog
Keith,
bots?
That's my term now.
Frog butts?
That's my term.
hey Keith, I think you were talking about the Litro camera. It was the one that looked like a
maybe
little.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It
it.
looked like
Yep.
a small rectangle-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
I was excited about that thing, but it kind of just went away. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it
happened
did.
to
But I saw this article and I thought, I wonder if that was a natural extension of that. They have updated those cameras too. I saw something recently on them. So it's
okay.
maybe making a comeback. Maybe it was too advanced.
Too advanced for his time.
Yeah.
Mike Robeson says it brings lots of new possibilities to porn.
Oh boy.
Oh dear Lord.
We know where your
didn't
mind's
go
at.
there.
No,
Don't
we
blame
didn't-
us.
It's not
we
us.
did not go there.
It's not the gay man on the
Nope.
show this time. That it went.
That's
in
why
the
we have
toilet.
live audience interaction. See what you're missing on Sunday nights, people?
Right.
You don't have a chance to top that. All
Oh,
right.
dear.
That brings us to our question of the week. This week, we are asking you, what are you looking forward to next year? What are you looking forward to in 2022? And you get extra points if your answer is not pandemic related.
Oh, there goes my idea.
There's my
Yeah,
idea.
low-hanging fruit's off the
Yeah,
table.
Exactly.
The low-hanging fruit just turned out to
Well,
be
the
plastic.
reason we're asking this question is because we're going to be out for the next 2 weeks. So we'll do a wrap-up show at the end of the end of the year, So I wanted to get everybody's kind of sort of predictions
gonna
or
Put your predictions in a
looking forward
box
to.
and we'll unwrap them at the end of 2022.
That's right.
Winning the lottery and calling in rich.
That's what you're looking forward to?
Well, we're hoping for.
I was
Yeah.
gonna-
Hoping for.
We're being optimistic, hey. Okay? Hey, what do you doing?
I want to call in rich.
I'm looking forward to being one step closer to retirement.
Yeah.
Well,
I believe
I'm closer than you.
I believe
You
all
think
this
so?
work I believe all the work we've done in podcasting is going to finally pay off next year.
Maybe.
That's being very optimistic.
Maybe we'll finally get on Patreon and take care of the $10,000 we spend a year.
Ouch.
Well,
Wow.
we used to spend with all the conventions and crap that we used to go to. I mean, it's, oh my God.
Conventions
Drag
and
that
things.
stuff around.
I'm glad you did the translation.
What's that?
Conventions and things.
Conventions and things. Yes.
There you go.
It was in my head. It just went into yours. It's like, yeah, it's working.
John Miller Jr. says graphics cards under $500 again.
That might happen. That
Yeah,
actually
well,
may happen because they're changing a lot of the digital currency from proof of work, which is where you had to run all the fast calculations. And that's where all the graphics cards were going. So as they migrate away from that, there won't be as much demand for those types of processors.
Also, there's been predictions that the silicon chip issue is going to be resolved next year or ease up. So that might contribute to that too.
I want a new MacBook Pro with the M1 chip.
Oh, you're going to get the
Oh,
M2.
Or the M2.
I
or
love the
whatever.
M1 chip.
Oh my God.
That thing is.
You've got one?
Yeah, I got the.
Well, he's got an Air.
I've got the new
Air.
MacBook Air because my previous MacBook Air was it had problems. So as soon as they started issuing them with the M1 chip, he got me one for my birthday, and boy, do I love that computer!
And I'm waiting to pay that off on the Apple Card before, so I can get myself a MacBook
Right.
Pro.
Fair point. Fair point.
It will make
Fair
doing the podcast so much
And-
more easy. And you may want to think about, maybe we can do video stuff now.
Hey, and
Horsepower.
that's why you need to get a Patreon account.
Why use the potato chips? Potato chips for
For the
do
chip
we use?
shortage.
what? Oh,
Well played there. Well
Yeah,
played.
oh my.
Well played.
And we broke Keith. There you go.
I was just watching the meter on Wirecast, wondering if it's even moving when Craig talks. But sorry, streamers, if Craig was really quiet or something. But we're going to move on
Well-
to the end of the show.
I think we're all
End of the
freezing back and
show.
forth because I see y'all move freezing.
Yeah, I see some movement.
Talk, Craig.
I am speaking.
That's not good.
Nope.
Okay, we're going to check
You're
that
not.
out.
You're frozen too.
No, we're not frozen.
On
It's
my
just you're
end,
not-
you are.
We're not frozen too either.
No, we're just a little
No,
cool in the
no.
room.
Or three.
Do you want-
We're not frozen anyway.
Do you want to build a snowman?
No.
All right, we're going to get on with this. The end of the show is at hand. Thank you,
Hey,
everybody,
there's
for
the
joining us
stream.
live. Ping.
Ping.
And thank you. You can reach us on the listener line 707-530-2428. That's 707-530-chat if you want to write that down or put that in your mobile device. Give us a call anytime. We'd love to hear from you. What are you looking forward to in 2022? Send us an email with your answer, technorama@chuckchat.com. We will get to your answer. Hopefully, if you get it to us in time, you've got a couple of weeks. So we look forward to returning to you. Until next time, Craig, would you give us a binary high five?
All right. Want to thank Ben and Keith for showing up too. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. All right. 101, everybody.
Bye. Take care. Be safe.
Be
Bonk.
sane.
Cheers.
Audio recording is ended.
Yay.
Yay.
Streaming is about to be ended.
And there was much rejoicing.
Bye, everybody.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for putting up with us.
Sorry about any crazy technical issues. What might they be?
I apologize.
No, y'all.
the
I was
whole-
trying to tell y'all.
It's his
For my-
sphere of influence.
I have a very bad sphere of influence where
I-
technology breaks around me.
I have apologized for the whole podcast.
It must have been
whatever,
something.
whatever the last
Hey,
17
I'm gonna
years
have
have
to-
been, I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
have to add that to ours. We apologize if you were offended by anything in this podcast.
Actually, it has something to do with StreamYard, I think, because y'all would freeze on my end, and then I figured y'all weren't hearing me. So
It might have been something on this end too, because there was a point where the iPad lost contact with the mixer.
oh,
So, and then you started going a little robotic. So,
somebody's watching Netflix in your house while you're trying to
Yeah.
podcast.
well, we rebooted right before the show
Yeah.
started too. We recycled the router. So
And it messed everything up.
yeah, practically had to reset the time on my VCR for that thing.
Yep. We lost Google Docs. Imagine that.
The one disadvantage to cloud. But the thing is, the files are also synced locally.
Oh, are
Like
they?
I should
Oh,
still be able to
I
get to them
see.
even without an internet connection.
I
That
see.
makes me suspicious about the new Google Drive setup.
Yeah.
So, thank you everybody for watching. We are stopping the stream. We're going to record our Patreon show, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.
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 Adios.